in. It's still March 28th, and I'm going to do a couple of videos doing some pranayama, some breathing exercises. To do this, you do need to be sitting down. You could be lying down on the floor, comfortably and warm, with your knees bent, and see how that feels. So you could try it different ways. You could start it lying down and then try sitting. If you can't sit comfortably on the floor, then you can sit on a chair. But to help yourself to be comfortable on the floor, you could sit with something underneath your sitting bones, your pelvis. And if you can't sit comfortably cross-legged, you could try a cushion underneath each knee, and that can make this feel a lot more comfortable. So you need to feel like your pelvis is really well grounded into the ground or into the chair. You've got a nice firm base sinking into the earth, feeling that reassurance of the ground beneath you. And then from that stable pelvis, that grounded pelvis and legs, your spine can lift up, and you need to be able to sit quite straight. If you're slumped over, then your whole breathing apparatus can't work so well. So you need to be sitting quite straight, but not tense. So straight but relaxed. Shoulders are dropping, and then bringing your hands onto your belly. Start to bring some awareness to the sensations of the breath. If this is new to you, then as soon as you start to bring your attention to your breath, you might start to feel a little bit breathless. So it can take practice. Just doing this regularly, it all gets a lot easier and it starts to get quite interesting. So the first sensations you might notice could be in your nostrils, so you feel a temperature difference between the in-breath and the out-breath. And then the first movements you feel might be right down into your hands on your belly. So when you feel the belly moving, it means that your diaphragm is relaxed and moving. Your diaphragm sits beneath your lungs, between your lungs and your stomach. And when you breathe in, your diaphragm moves down as your lungs expand and your belly softens and expands. As you breathe out, your belly softens back. It's a bit smaller as your diaphragm moves up on the out-breath. Feeling that movement in your belly. And this can be very relaxing. So we all get quite tense around our diaphragm just from being busy. So helping to soften the diaphragm by breathing in and out very softly with the belly. And as you start to relax, the breath might become a little deeper, a little slower. Some people find it helps to count with the breathing. Then it can be quite hard to kind of get away from the whole number thing. So it's nice to just go with the flow without counting, if you can. Keeping it slow and soft, all the way out to the very end of the exhale. So that's the deep, slow belly breath. Let's bring our hands onto our side ribs now, wrapping your thumbs behind your ribs, and we'll do a couple of the Sharira mudras now. So as you inhale this time, really feel into your hands where your ribs are expanding, and you can exaggerate that a little bit by spreading your ribs into your hands. On the inhale and on the exhale, your ribs drop down and down and down and down. Your ribcage gets smaller. So feeling into that kind of barrel-like quality of the ribcage on the inhale. And all the way out. Do that a few more breaths. Again, counting if that helps you, or just going with the flow of it. Still feeling those sensations in the nostrils. in-breath, a bit warmer on the out-breath. And then rest your hands, backs of your hands on your knees. Relax your belly, relax your ribs, and just breathe normally for a moment. Notice how it feels. So it can help to have your eyes closed or just gazing down towards the ground. But your head stays on top of your neck. Noticing where the movement is in the breath. So some people always breathe with the belly, some people never breathe with the belly. Some people always breathe with the ribs, some people never do. So we're finding out. And for the last Sharira mudra now, bring your thumbs into your armpits and bring your fingers around so just below your collarbones. Shoulders are relaxing as much as possible. Breathing nice and deeply and slowly. And noticing the movement right up in the upper chest. And with your thumbs you might be feeling some ribs. Still got ribs there. So it's expanding sideways and lifting on the in-breath. And then dropping on the out-breath and closing down, getting smaller. A few more breaths here. And you can start to get a sense of the level of air rising. You get bigger as you breathe in, and you get smaller as you breathe out. Relaxing your hands down on your knees. Breathing normally, but noticing the movements. Let's see if we can combine those now. So bring one hand onto your belly, one hand softly up onto your upper chest, just below your collarbones. And breathing a little bit more deeply and slowly, getting a sense of your body as a cylinder. Perhaps that can help you to visualise and feel this. So your pelvis is on the ground. Your head is on nice and tall. Top of your head lifting, and between your pelvis and the top of your head you're a beautiful cylinder. The level of air rises, so you start by breathing into your lower belly and the level rises up to your side ribs, back ribs, and up to your collarbones and the tops of your shoulders. And as you exhale the level goes down, so you feel it dropping down through the collarbones, ribs, belly, pelvis. So we're just going to breathe up and down the body a few more times. The belly, ribs, collarbones on the inhale, the exhale all the way down. Just taking care that as you exhale you're not slumping, so you're still sitting tall. If you're sitting on a chair, then you don't need to be leaning back into the chair. Lovely slow breaths. And so next time you breathe in, just see how it feels to pause for a moment at the top of the inhale, or to the point where you're feeling breathless. Don't want to make it too hard, and then breathing all the way out, and see how it feels to pause for a moment down at the bottom when you're empty. So we'll do that a few times. Slow breath all the way in, pausing when you've reached the top of the inhale, breathing very slowly all the way out, and then pausing at the end of the out breath. Feeling all of those different parts moving. Belly, your ribs, your collarbones. Deeply and slowly pausing when you're full and pausing when you're empty. So your hands are in one pleasure in that movement, but now resting your hands on your knees, let's see if you can carry on with that slow breath, with those pauses. So the breath starts to feel like a beautiful slow wave up and down the body. You might start to feel some movement in your back ribs and between your shoulder blades. You might also notice that there's a gentle rise and fall in the shoulders. Making sure that there is a fall, that your shoulders are dropping as you exhale. That's because your shoulders are sitting on top of your ribs. There is a natural movement there. And at the other end of your body, you might notice a movement in your pelvic floor muscles. So that area between the legs, wrapping around your anus and your vagina if you've got one. You might feel a gentle release as you breathe in your pelvic floor, or when you breathe out, or both. Just notice. So if you're tense, then you might be unconsciously squeezing the pelvic floor muscles. So this is a way of helping you to release that tension. Right the way down. And then come back to normal slow breathing, just normal gentle breathing. And notice how that feels. So a few minutes of this deep slow breathing practice every day can help to keep your lungs elastic and strong. And you can combine this deep slow breathing with the yoga postures, or just sit and breathe and relax. And it just naturally calms you. It's linked to the central nervous system and all sorts of other things going on. And it's deeply, deeply calming. Quite hard to practice on your own, so there are lots of videos out there, but I hope this has helped. Take care.